If I were to ask you how much a gacha game needs to earn on a monthly basis to be considered a success, how much would you say? Would you say 100K, $1 million, $10 million? Genshin Impact makes anywhere between $30 to $60 million a month globally, averaging millions of new players. Star Rail averages currently $50 to $100 million a month, averages millions of new players. Nikke averages $20 to $30 million a month, averages hundreds of thousands of new players. All three of these games are generally considered to be monumental successes. 3 games that are above the rest of the competition. These are games that make other gacha games look significantly inferior. But just because a game only makes $2-3 million like Azure Lane, $2.5 million just like Arknights, roughly $1 million like Honkai Impact Third, $1.2 million like Tower of Fantasy, does not inherently make them unsuccessful games. But what if I were to tell you a game that launched just a couple months ago is not only averaging roughly 20,000 new downloads per month, but also less than $100,000, because Higan Eruthyll right now is making a mere $80,000. This is within the few months of launching, made it one of the lowest earning, least played gacha games at present, and one of the biggest failures of the entire year. Now, before we go any further, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon, who allow for me to continue to do videos like this every single day. Also, if you don't already, consider following me on Twitch, where I stream new gacha games every single weekend. I did numerous positive videos on Higan Eruthyll before it launched. This was a game that I was very excited for. I love turn-based RPGs. I love anime games. Despite the fact that this looked and felt like a good game, people were just not interested in it. I don't know if that was due to the game just sucking for them. I don't know if people just boycotted playing it due to it being a Bilibili game, but this game, Higan Eruthyll, it never took off. It never acquired a fan base, a following, a cult of players that would stick with it, that would continue to spend on it. And that's kind of sad, because ultimately, while I don't think the game is necessarily dead yet, it is approaching an end of service announcement. You cannot look at this, you cannot see $80,000 earned after releasing on April 6th, 2023. That was 3 months ago. In 3 months, it has fallen to $80,000. You cannot look at this and think that this is in any way a success. People look at Honkai Impact and Tower Fantasy at $1 million and they laugh at them, because $1 million isn't considered to be an overwhelming number for a gacha game when there are 20-ish gacha games that all make over 10 million. When your gacha makes 1 million, you're considered to be on the lower spectrum in terms of player activity and in terms of earnings. If you make less than $100,000, you are in the bottom 1% of gacha games. There are so few gacha games earning this little, because when gacha games drop to this number, they're typically shut down. That this is generally considered to be one of the lowest earning gacha games available right now. I know that might upset some of the Higan Eruthyll player base, all couple hundred of you, but at the end of the day, the end of service announcement is coming. That's honestly a shame, because I genuinely had fun in the game. I thought it had some good graphics. I thought it had a quirky storyline. I thought it had some decent combat. I don't know what people found wrong with the game. I don't know what issues that happened with the game. I just know that there isn't really anything left keeping players there, and there isn't anything left that warrants players spend money on it. I went to their YouTube to kind of look at the updates that were coming, and I noticed that their videos only get a couple hundred views. I mean, that means that absolutely nobody's even excited for the game. That means nobody's excited for any updates that the game has. That means nobody just generally gives a fuck. And that is indicative of the state that the game is in right now. The game isn't dead yet. It's not, but it is approaching a death. There's no contesting that. I would not expect the game to last longer than a few more months if it continues to decline at the rate that it is. It's always sad to see a gacha game shut down, but I know this is developed by Bilibili, and Bilibili has a certain stigma surrounding itself as a studio, as a developer and or a publisher. And people tend to steer clear of Bilibili titles for a reason, because they're either bad, they are mishandled, or they just shut down even faster than they're announced. Either way, Higan Eruthyll, you really genuinely did deserve better than this. I'm sorry that you didn't take off. I had a great discussion with some of the staff behind the game who were absolutely fantastic people. I genuinely hope you guys get to move on to a better game that is received better, but this game, it just ain't it. Now, if Higan Eruthyll isn't a game that you're interested in, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that might be of more interest to you.